You talk about being more conscious of your vitality these days. What do you mean?
I mean, probably on any given day, you think about different things, but I mean, there's many ways to look at it, just as a human, and as your own health, or as the vitality of the band. I don't know. You know, I hate to admit it, but there's one thing about getting older, is like the hangovers are worse. And it's probably the most frustrating thing right now about, you know, adding another 10 years on your life. I try to deny it, but it, you know, the other weird thing is the hangover doesn't hit you till like 5 the next day. So
that's inconvenient.
It's really, it could be right around sound check. I think you know, we've been through enough in this band that it's almost, this could be one of the better times. This is almost what this period of time is like, it was well earned. We've been through some to get here, and I guess that's why you want to hope that you keep it together now, because this is the good stuff.
It's cool that you guys, I mean, you're the only band really left from the original Seattle days.
Well, a lot of the musicians, they still play in different kind of shapes and forms, but and they're still around. We still see them, and most of them. I mean, we definitely lost a few, but you know, and you've got your Mudhoneys and a few other groups. But I guess one thing that's come up lately, as I've been asked about this stuff, is that, or if you bring something like that up, you think, wow, it must be hard to keep a band together. And you know, it hasn't been easy for us, but you know, I go back to the thing, like, if it can't be easy to be in a rock band, then what's the point of life? What's the point of, I think, of somebody like working at, you know, a security job like I used to, or a waiter like I used to, or a gas station. You know, I used to guard the pumps at a petroleum company, you know, at midnight for 4 years. When I moved up to supervisor and all that, but you know, if I go back to that guy and I hear the bands can't keep it together, it's like, well, where's the hope for the rest of us? You know?
The music industry has obviously changed a lot in the last 10 years.
Last couple of days. I mean, it's constantly morphing right now, but
you pick your battles where you can. I mean, and you do what you need to do to get records out there. You know, the Target deal that you guys have makes all the sense in the world now, given the fact that there's no more record stores.
Well, it's something, you know, I think if we really, you know, there are compromises that we've felt upon thinking about it long and hard, that we feel like we've had to make, and that they're acceptable ones only because we think they're you know, positive for the consumer as well. And we, as a group, we have gone through phases where we've made it difficult, and people still hung in there with us, which we're very grateful for. It has allowed us to continue to make decisions based on, you know, how we feel and where our ethical barometer is, and our moral, you know, barometer, or our moral threshold lies. And you know, and in a weird way, not to sound, really not wanting to sound self-important at all, but if you see our group thinking that we have to do that, then I think it illustrates something about where the music industry thing is now. I mean, one thing that we did do or demanded, and it wasn't even that we asked for, it was a I guess a deal breaker, was that it didn't exclude being able to buy your music at mom and pop stores. which there's so few. You know, and they're in '92 or something. I remember thinking that, you know, Tower Records was evil compared to the little record stores, and you know how we miss them now.
Miss them, Miss Virgin, Miss Camelot, Miss Sam Goody, Miss all those places that, you know, went into suburbia and places that didn't have mom and pop stores.
You know, and the thing is, this industry, if you talk about Live Nation and the ticketing companies and the whole thing, you know, they're kind of they eat themselves up. They end up in a situation where they say we have to change this business plan because the market has changed, but they're the ones that changed the market, you see. So you know, at some point we hope that they would be regulated.
Well, it's becoming awfully monopolistic on some levels.
And you know, if we were to be selfish about it, you know, or for bands like, you know, we've always, because of this trust or whatever, this relationship we have that we're very grateful for with the people that come see us and listen to our group, we've got something that's very it puts us in a very extraordinary position of being able to do things, approach things the way we'd like to and we think is the correct way for how we view music and how we view our relationship with the people who listen to it. It's the younger bands, and it's the up and coming bands, or the bands that are more, you know, less accessible, or even a band that's been around forever and that they're legends and all that, but they're maybe you know, they're not someone that just everybody has in their record collection. That would be a band like Sonic Youth or something, or Mudhoney or something like that. So it's tricky. I mean, the tricky thing about Target is that they don't have the space, or they have yet to make the space, and who knows if they ever can, to stock, you know,
more than the
10,000 records.
Right. I think the big boxes usually stock between 3,000 and 5,000 titles. That's all they got room for.
3,000. That's even more than I thought. I mean, to me, when I go in there, it looks about like 300 to me.
Yeah, it does.
And not much back catalog and all that. Or they probably have a copy of 10, but probably not the one in the middle, whatever that was. So,
just as an aside, all the Target puppies, the dogs that they have in the commercials. My dog is their half sisters.
Oh, you're kidding?
No. It was a guy, as a hillbilly in Alexandria, Virginia. He raises bull terrier puppies, and the dog, the father's name is Fatso, and I have one of Fatso's daughters, and all those dogs are my dog's half sisters.
Okay, so you've got a Target.
So I've got a Target connection.
Yeah.
I just have one last thing. Give me some bands that you're listening to these days. Bands that new bands or any bands that somehow caught your attention.
Yeah. Well, I've been listening a lot to Wilco. I've been listening a lot to Slater-Kinney, who aren't going to be making any more records anytime soon. I've always listened to Fugazi. I've been listening a lot to this guy called Robert Pollard. Who used
from
to
Guided
be
by
in
Voices.
Guided by Voices,
Yeah.
and he puts about 2 records out a year, so I can barely keep up with him, but I always listen to that stuff. I just got the Neil Young box set, which I'm pouring through. So I'm listening to a band called The Squires, I think was his first band. So I'm hearing that for the first time.
You know what? I never sent you something. I have Neil Young, age 14, recorded by some TV producer in Winnipeg, 1957, 58.
Did you tell me about
Yeah,
this
and I
last
forgot
time?
to send it to you.
Okay, there
I'm
you
going to
go.
do it now.
I knew I heard of it.
Yeah. And he's 14 years old, and there's a saxophone, and it's like a Buddy Holly type thing.
Yeah.
But it's Uncle.
I've seen the
It's Uncle
pictures.
Mel. Yeah. And it was before the Squires.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the time. I wish we had more.